Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today, let's continue the trap series right here at BusyWorksBeats.com/trap. I'm going to show you how to make some really hard trap piano melodies using only stock FL Studio plugins. So the first thing we're going to load up is FL Keys. So go to your channel rack right here and hit the plus button. Go to FL Keys, all right? And open up FL Keys and then go to presets in the top right and then switch it to dance piano. People don't know there's presets for FL Keys. Usually like a harder piano sound. Okay, now what we're gonna do is right click, go to piano roll. I keep my magnet or my snap to grid on 1/2 beat. It's just easier to see. And I keep my tempo around 140-ish when I start. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is start with the core piano and then we're gonna add some effects to it because trap melodies are mostly effects. It's not really the notes you use, it's the effects you use. So I'll give you a quick little template so you can follow along. So first thing, we're gonna use long notes. So a lot of people don't have realistic piano melodies because they play them like this. Very jumpy. Whereas if you were to play with a sustain pedal, it would sound like this. It just has a different sound than those like let go notes. And most people don't understand that. So all you have to do to mimic that is just make the note long. Okay, so we're gonna go one note directly up to the note above. And then we're gonna find another note. Okay, so we're gonna use D in this case, and then go to the note just above. You've heard this a million times. It's because half steps make up trap sounds. And half steps are when you go from one note directly to the note above. It's very tense. It's a horror movie type of soundtrack. So we got that from the movie Halloween. So if we pull this over, that's all we really need. And then you could go, dun. You could pitch it up so you can grab the whole thing, hit shift, hit control A if you didn't know what I just did, hit shift to grab it and just drag it up. So we're not messing with the velocities at all. The velocities are all the same. Let's crank this up a little bit. Let's actually pull this up to E. So this will be the perfect fifth. You don't need to know everything about everything. To do this, just hit control, highlight, hit shift up twice. And if you want to learn more about trap beats and trap melodies, go to BusyWorksBeats.com/trap. So if you ever get confused, we have a whole free trap series for you. Okay, so that's the bare minimum. Now what we're gonna do is hit control up to pull it up an octave. And the reason we're doing this is because the next plugin we're about to add is gonna be called Gross Beat. So let me open up my effects. Okay, we're gonna go to the mixer now, which is this icon. And you wanna send your piano to the mixer. If you don't see this little number to the left, hit Alt-M to hide or reveal that number. And hit Control-L to send it to a blank mixer channel. Okay, so it should have a number next to it. We go to the mixer and then match up the number. So on mixer channel 3, we have this sound. Okay, so the first thing we're going to add is Gross Beat. And we're going to go to presets, momentary, half speed. You'll hear this all the time. People use half speed. I recommend changing your trigger sync to 4 beats. Let me move this out the way just in case my head's blocking the way. And go to the bottom right, switch that to 4 beats. Now you have a slowed down melody. So don't worry if you don't hear all the notes, that's fine. So let's say you only hear 2 notes and you want to hear all the notes. What you could do is go back to your melody, hit Control A, hit Alt, and then left click and drag everything to half the time. And now everything will play faster and Gross Beat will slow it down so it sounds normal, but just at a lower pitch. Let's pull this up an octave, Control up. Okay, so you can mess with different octaves, hitting Control up. Okay, so now we have that kind of tone to it. Let's open up the next plugin called Fruity Delay 3 from the list, Fruity Delay 3. And let's go to the mix level. Let's turn that wet level all the way up. Turn dry level down, turn feedback down, turn delay time down. Now everything else, all the other knobs become a sound effect. So we're gonna pull up the time modulation knob. It adds a pitch wobble effect. I'll exaggerate it so you can hear it. So I'm adding a little bit more. Now the cool part is we can add this, we can use our mouse wheel to scroll and it will move that before it. And it will slow down the pitch wobble. Now I'll show you a more advanced technique. If you go back to your melody, highlight it, hit Control A, hit Alt, left click it back to where it was before, the length. And then what you can do is go back to growth speed and use your green knob here to pull that down. And you can blend the two melodies together. So you can use one as like a counter melody, and then you can open up another growth speed and then make everything feel slowed down. Go back to momentary, go to half speed. And again, if you want all the notes, you just have to pull them in. So hit Control A again, hit Alt, left click, drag it in. And that way you get the doom, doom, and you get the speed of the actual sound. But it still feels slowed down. So I just hit Control Up. Okay, so try that, and then on top of this, you could add reverb. For this example, I'll add reverb directly, but usually I put reverb on a different channel. I don't want to make this complicated. So we're going to add Fruity Reverb 2 and just lower the wet level. Cut the lows. Cut the highs if you can. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And you can add modulation to the reverb. I'm going to add a little pre-delay. You can widen out the reverb. Okay, so now I'm going to drag and drop just to show you how this, now that you have everything mapped out, it's going to be super easy to just drag and drop MIDI, for example. If you want free MIDI, just go to busyworksbeats.com/trap. We have a bunch of free stuff for you waiting for you. So I'm going to pull up one of these, and it's called Desert Full. Let's grab that, drag it in. Now this is a really low octave, so we're going to hit Control Up. Now if we take off these effects, here's what it sounds like. I mean, it sounds cool because it's good melody and good MIDI, but the problem is it doesn't have that tone. Now if you're really crazy with it, you can actually put the reverb before the slowed down growth speed. So now you're slowing down the reverb. And it creates a really dark tone. And it's super ambiguous. So experiment with all those things, but always remember, modern day trap is more about the effects than it is about the exact notes you play. So I'm going to teach you all that stuff. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/trap. Thank you. Subscribe if you're new. Peace.